From ABC 21, this is Insight. Now your host, Charity Freeman.
Hi, I'm Charity Freeman. I'm the host of Insight on ABC 21. I didn't start here at ABC 21. I guess actually, let me go back. I did start here at ABC 21, but I didn't start on the on-air side. It was about 1995. I am dating myself. When I came here and I started in the sales department as an account executive. Then I went to Dayton, Ohio, and that's where I started on air. I became a reporter and spent several years as a reporter there in Dayton for the CBS affiliate, WHIO News Center 7. Then came back to town here and went back into sales here at ABC 21. In the time while I was away, we had also purchased the NBC station, so became a platform of stations here. Over the years, moved up through management, and then about 11 years ago we started this show, Insight, and I began hosting it while I was the local sales manager. We thought it was a great way for me to get to hang out with clients every day, because that's what Insight is. So if you don't know, Insight is an advertorial feature show. Every day 4 clients come in and they are paying for their segment. It's a half-hour show. Each segment's about 4.5 minutes long. It's an interview where they feature their products or their organization or their event. And basically, it's a softball interview. I ask them the things that they want to be asked so that they can get the most out of their business, or they can tell what they want to tell about their business. I tell people it's different from when I was a reporter. When I was a reporter and I would interview people, I would be interviewing them to get the sound bite or the information that I wanted or I needed for my story. When I interview people here for Insight, I am interviewing them to get what they want and what they need out of the interview. So my typical day-to-day work looks, I guess, sometimes the same, sometimes different. I come in about the same time every morning, 8:30-ish, and I spend the day putting together the show for that day. I also produce and edit my own show. So I have to, what in the business they would call stacking your show. So put it in the computer, have to enter all the supers, the CGs that you see on the screen that has people's names, phone numbers, all of that. I also have to edit the graphics that come up at the end of every Insight segment. And then it depends. In the afternoon, I might still be in the station editing something, or I might be selling. I do have a few clients that I work with here at the station, or I might be out of the building on a shoot. We do shoot some segments on site, and so I might be out at the building doing that. I do enjoy that I get to talk to people every day. I get to interview people. I get to interact with them, and it's in a non-confrontational. So I'm never interviewing them in a confrontational or an uncomfortable situation. They're always talking about what they like. It's never a story that they don't want to tell, like it was sometimes when I was a reporter. This is what I always wanted to do. People say, what did you want to do when you were a kid? I wanted to be Katie Couric on the Today Show. I've never wanted to not work in this business. It's what I went to college to do. I never changed my major. It's what I've always wanted to do. This is really the industry that I've always worked in. I did work in an advertising agency for a little while, but still it's the same industry that I always worked in. My very first job that I had out of college was at the Anderson Herald Bulletin. I went to school at Anderson University, and I wasn't quite ready to leave town when I graduated. So I got a job at the Anderson Herald Bulletin and worked there probably for about 6 months, maybe close to a year. It was fine. I got to meet a lot of people. It was a good first job to have, but broadcasting was really what I wanted to do, so I definitely wasn't interested in staying in the print industry. I did love my time in news. I got to cover some really big stories. I was a reporter during 9/11. I covered Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and it held most of the Air Force's technology. So it was a big deal to be covering Wright-Patterson Air Force Base during 9/11. I had an F-5 tornado that touched down in the beat that I covered when I was a reporter. So I covered big stories, and it's a big adrenaline rush. We had a helicopter at the station that I worked at, and so we would report from the helicopter above things. It was really cool, but I like doing this better, and I think that surprises people. And what's interesting is that I switched back to the sales side from reporter. It was because I had kids, and I decided that once I had kids, I didn't want to be at the station at night. I didn't want to miss my kids' games. My kids have all competed in sports. I didn't want to miss games because I had to work for the 6 and 11 o'clock news. I didn't want to be working holidays. And I think that people think it's all glamour, and it's cool, but your priorities change, and mine changed for sure. And I decided that this was more important to me than my family, and that schedule was more important to me than covering the big stories anymore. I did go to Anderson University, as I mentioned. I have a degree in communications with a minor in political science from there. I think that if I had to do it over again, I probably would have gone to law school. That was something that I thought about doing right when I graduated, and I don't know that I would be doing anything different right now, but it'd be something nice to have in my back pocket. I think if you're interested in a degree in broadcasting or communications, it's good to go shadow somebody. It's good to watch somebody. I think that there is some misconceptions about what we do all day. And it isn't all about what happens in front of the camera. It's really more about what happens behind the camera. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, check it out. Go watch somebody and learn how to write. That is the most important thing you can do, is learn how to write, and write well. Maybe someday you can be the next Katie Couric. Who am I kidding? You guys are so much younger than me. You don't even know who Katie Couric is.